There's a new movie out, coming out, well, it came out last night, I think, but The Eternals is out, and it's a very exciting because it's a Marvel property I don't know a lot about. I bet you I know somebody that knows a lot about it. Mark Evanier joining us right now. Hey, Mark.
Hello. Hello. Hey, where can I get one of those TVs? That's nice. I like that.
Good to see you, my friend. Okay, so let's remind the people back in the day, you worked with Jack Kirby. What did you do with Jack Kirby?
Well, darn near nothing. I was hired by Jack Kirby in 1970. He was about to leave Marvel and go to DC Comics. He created these things called the New Gods, which are going to be the subject of another movie pretty soon, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then he went back to Marvel in 1975, and they wanted him to create a new comic, and he came up with this thing called The Eternals, which was based on a lot of theories and such he'd been playing with in stories for years. A lot of people saw a lineage to the book Chariots of the Gods.
Oh.
About writing about how theoretically, maybe possibly, aliens had visited Earth long ago and had left remnants and had a lot to do with how our civilization here developed, to the extent it developed at all. And but Jack was interested in that well before that book came out. And the book was fairly successful for a little while. The business was in trouble at the time. A lot of stuff didn't sell wonderfully. And it ended, but people kept bringing it back. After Jack was no longer working for Marvel, other people revived it, and it wouldn't go away. And somebody at Marvel Films said, hey, we got to make that into a movie. And they have done this, and it is the first movie that is based wholly on a book that Jack created all by himself. A lot of the movies have been based on things that were co-creations of his with other people, but this is a pure Jack Kirby book, comic turned into a movie, which I am told by people who've seen it reflects a lot of Jack's art design and concepts and visions. He was a great visionary.
He really was.
So that's where the Eternals came from.
That is fascinating, and it's epic. I mean, it's taken over a span of like millions of years and stuff.
That's right. Yeah, Jack never told small stories. Every story he did was about the entire universe and 12 other ones. And he was this man who was very prescient. He saw into the future a lot. You could look at his old comics and see things that happened years later. He actually had a thing in the New Gods series called Mother Boxes that everybody walked around with, and we all now have these things that function just like Mother Boxes, but he did that in 1970.
That is crazy. That is crazy. Hey, you got a new book out right now. You got an essay in it?
Speaking of Jack, I contributed to, I have a copy here somewhere. This is a book, the Marvel Universe more or less started with Fantastic Four #1 in 1961. It was a historic comic. It was done by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Jack had a lot of the visions and ideas behind it. He did more than just draw it. He conceived a lot of the characters, and one of them was really based on him. And we took this, some people took this book. This is out. I do not make any money off this book. I've been paid all I'm going to be paid. It's called Fantastic Four #1, panel by panel. They took a beautiful condition copy of this comic, which now sells for more money than you and I will ever have, and they photographed it lovingly so you could see it just as it appeared on newsstands in 1961. And then they also went through and blew up every panel of it. I am going to open randomly. See here, they've taken each panel of the comic and blown it up to a full page so you can look and see every bit of detail and all the artwork and all those little subtleties that you lose on the crummy, the comic sold for 10 cents originally. It was printed literally the cheapest way they could. And now you can see it's on deluxe fancy paper. And then, so there's that, and then there's all these essays in it by people, including myself, who are purported to know something about comic book history and the art form, discussing it panel by panel, and why did they lay out this page this way, and why is this character facing left instead of right, And it's like, how deep into the weeds can we get with Fantastic Four #1?
Fantastic.
And,
Mark, we got to go. I could talk to you all day, but I'm going to hit you up again because, you know, they keep sending out properties, so I'll hit you up again.
I love getting up too early to talk to you.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it, man.
Right.
You can get that
Anytime.
new Fantastic Four book, panel by panel, on Amazon.com. Thanks, Mark. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Man, what a cool dude, man. I love that guy.